Okay, so make sure you follow along. Okay, so when it comes to regressions is basically you coming up with the equation. There will be no equation from data points. Once you have the equation, they can ask you a whole bunch of other questions just like before. But first, right, there will be points and you will have to make your own equation. How do we do that? You want to enter your x values into L1, your y values into L2. How do we get to this point? We press Stat, Edit. Every time you see a box, it's either a button or it is a selection you have to make. Pay close attention to this part. If you have a vertical table, no exceptions. This is your x, that is your y. No exceptions. If you have a horizontal table, the first is your x, the second one is your y. No exceptions. Okay? Point number 2. I would like you to turn on plot 1 only for regressions. Like if you've put points into L1 and L2, you might want to turn that on. Then we will look at our scatter plot. Why am I showing you this? Because the scatter plot will show you the points, right? So when it's like this, if you see that there's like a 2-turn situation, what are you thinking of right away? 2 turns. The only one that has 2 turns is cubic, right? If you see like scatters, but it only goes one way, it just keeps increasing like that, then you're thinking linear. When it goes up and then back down, there's only 1 turn, you're thinking quadratic. Okay, so the scatter plot is going to tell us. I believe from what I've seen, I think there was one exam where there was an exception. They tell you every time what regression you're dealing with. So they're saying, hey, find the cubic, find the quadratic, find the linear. But there was one year where they didn't tell students which one. Looking at the scatter plots is a fail-safe way to see, oh yeah, obviously it's a cubic. Like I can totally tell, no questions asked. So there's one that is the best, okay, that you need to pick. Next, you choose the appropriate regression. If it looks like this, you're going to pick linear. If it's quadratic, quadric. If it's cubic, cubic regression, okay? Next, this is important part right here. At the end of the day, you should see on your home screen the regression that you've picked, followed by L1, so those are your x values, comma, that's a button, L2, that's you get there by going second 2, comma, y1, you're going to paste that equation into y1. Okay? So let's try that. Let's go over to page 36. And I'll walk you through it. Okay? We've got a carpenter repairing a wooden armchair, takes careful measurements. It can determine if he can determine an equation, he can generate a computer-controlled cutter to make a matching arm. The arm has a horizontal length of 45 centimeters. You've been given a table. Let's type this into L1. This goes into L2. This is X. This is Y. Grab your calculators and follow me. Okay? Quit anything you're doing. We go Stat. We press Stat. Edit. We're already in there. So Edit. You will see a spreadsheet, basically. Watch this. You go to the top of that column, hit Clear, then Enter. It will get rid of whatever is in there. Go side arrow, go up to L1, hit Clear, then Enter. It should all be gone now. Do you all have L1 and L2? Does everybody have L1 and L2? Because it could be that somebody deleted L2, so it's gone. Come and talk to me if that's you. Let's enter this into L1. So you go 0, enter, 5, enter, 10, enter, and so forth. Make sure you type it in exactly the way it shows. Don't be making assumption that there's a pattern. They could be negatives as well, guys. If these are negatives, you type in negative, not minus. Let's go over to L2. Type in these values. 5, 1.36, 0.04, 1.705, and so forth. You should have a matching number of values on either side. If they don't match, you're gonna get an error message. What do we do next? Go to y equals. You will see later that you may skip this step. I will clear all of the equations that are in y1 and y2. I will turn on plot 1. Got it? Now I will use my zoom feature, zoom stat. You notice that you press stat to get into L1 and L2? So zoom stat, if you hit that, you will see the scatter plot. Okay? It doesn't work if plot 1 is not turned on. I'm telling you already. You're going to be like, but, turn on plot 1. You should see this. What does this look like, guys? One turn, another turn. Cubic. But what does this ask? What regression would best fit the data? Justify, answer in words. A cubic function. Why? The scatter plot shows 2 turns. And if you want to really impress, right, your audience, you just go, I kind of just show what my scatter plot shows on my screen. Determine the equation of best fit. Can I say something here? Listen carefully to this part. Most of the time, 99% of the time, the province will say determine the cubic equation. Or it will say determine the quadratic equation. Or the linear. Or exponential. Please don't argue with it. Don't argue with it. I've had students like, no, it's an exponential. Boom, they go exponential. I'm like, no, like it told you what to do. So don't argue with it unless it asks you which one should you pick. Got it? So let's write the equation down. This is how we do this. If you go to step 4 in the notes I just gave you, I go stat again. It's all about stats, right? You go to calculate, sideways arrow, and for now we're going to pick between linear, quadratic, or cubic. Those are the only 3 we're going to pick for now. We know it's a cubic because we know what the scatter plot looks like. Select cubic. Now you got to go second 1, so press second, then 1 to call L1. Press the comma button, second 2 to call L2. Comma one more time. Alpha trace. It asks you, where do you want me to paste the equation I'm about to generate? I'm going to say paste it into Y1. So enter. So that's what you want to see for the regression to work. Once you're done, you hit enter one more time. And I'm just going to write this one. Oh, what? Is that what you're getting? I know why I did this, okay? You see this? E to the negative 4. You see that e to the negative 4? That means that the decimal has to shift over 4 spaces. I've never seen this happen on an exam, but I need to prepare you for it. So watch this. In my notes, I'm just going to say A is equal to negative 8.8491 something e to the negative 4. If that ever happens, right, it's basically it's asking you to do this. Watch what I'm going to do here. The decimal is right here. You jump over 4 spaces to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's where the decimal goes. And all these values you've created, you fill that in with 0. So let's write down our equation. Stat, calc, this is very standard, and I will just say that I've chosen cubic regression. These are the buttons I've pressed. And then we write down the equation itself. So we're going to go 0.0009, because we round that 8 to a 9 because there's an 8 next to it, x cubed. And then we go plus 0.06. What should go next to b, guys? It tells you right here. Next to b, we have x squared, right? So we go x squared minus 1.00, right? That rounds to 0, 0. And that's the c value. So that'll be an x next to it. Plus, what does this round to? 4.999? 5 point, if you want full marks, go 0.00. Because you're rounding something, you go 0.00. Okay, hold on. The homework is that AC that I gave you, plus I want you to try 38 and 40. Listen to this. I'll sweeten the deal a little bit. Equation only, okay? At least. I would like you to answer the questions that follow, but at least I want you to practice how to come up with the equations. Got it? Another thing, if you're scared about what just happened here, the e to the negative 4, it has never happened on an exam. I don't think it will ever happen, but I need to prepare you for that possibility, that you have that e thing at the end. Shift over decimals, that's it. So AC plus these two questions.